Hi guys. So, welcome to Inappropriate TV. So I did a whole video and you cannot hear me. If you guys have experience out making like YouTube videos and going live, well, I can't go live yet because it's a very new channel, but I recorded the video on my laptop. I can't hear myself. I can't hear anything. Okay, so I talked about voodoo today, about black magic on the station. It was just a 15-minute video. The Spreaker account that I have that we use to record gives us 15 minutes. We're going to be doing 15-minute segments until, we grow a little bit and we see there's a need to add on to the time. So I'm going to get right into it. First, I discussed how a friend, a listener, had actually asked me to talk about DCP&P, typhus, right? In New Jersey, we call it typhus. Now it's called DCP&P, Department of Children Protective and Permanency, or Permanency Plan, something like that. It used to be called DYFS, DYFS, Department of Youth and Family Services, but they changed the name a few years ago. Now, he asked me to discuss this. There is definitely a way that I can relate this to spiritual warfare. However, he just wanted me to say that you can go down to the state and apply for full custody for your child. What he was saying was that when you have your kid, once you apply for a social security number and a birth certificate, the state technically has custody of your child, like partial custody. And that's why when they come to take your kids, it's so easy for them to take the kids because they already have partial I'm sorry, y'all. Just give me a second. I want to flip this camera around. It's giving me I'm weirded out right now. Okay? I feel a little better. Okay. So, what he was saying was basically that the state partially owns your child, has custody of your child once you apply for the social and the birth certificate. So, he was saying that I should tell you guys that once you get those documents, you go down to the state and you have the opportunity to apply for full custody for your kids. So that way, if something ever came up, God forbid, I don't have to knock on wood. God covers us all, good or bad. When it comes to the children, they are protected for sure. So I'm not gonna look for them wood to knock on. But he did want me to say that. So, I mean, that doesn't really apply to me. That information is not necessarily useful to me because I don't have children. But if you do have kids, and if that's something you're concerned about, you can definitely go down to the state building. I want to say 153 Halsey, 212 Washington. That's where the child support is paid. That's the DYFS building. If you want to go to the state building, I believe it's 124 Halsey, downtown North New Jersey. If you're in another state or another city, I have no idea where you should go. Try to look up your DCP&P offices or your Child Protective Service offices, CPS. I know they call it in a lot of other states, right? Okay, so the topic is about magic, okay? It's about magic. A lot of people are aware, of the different types of magic. We are going to have to break this topic down into different segments because there's so much information. It's so vast that actually giving this information in one segment is impossible. So we have voodoo, we have witchcraft. Some of our Hispanic brothers and sisters call it brujeria, where a witch would be a bruja. I mean, even speaking bad about a person, like speaking down on their name, wishing bad things happen to them, like wishing they lose their job, wishing they break up with their partner or their spouse, wishing they die, wishing they get into a car accident, wishing they lose their living arrangement. That's all the evil eye. That's magic. I mean, some people even scribe things where they would write it down and say, you know, I want X, Y, and Z to happen. I know some cultures, they will take your name, put it on a piece of paper, and walk on it. They'll put it in their shoe, and walk on it. That's something they use to keep you down. I mean, all of these different types of techniques or tactics, it's magic, right? And it's very important to note that if you have the tenacity, first of all, it takes knowledge, wisdom, insight into the spiritual world, and tenacity, right? You have to have really big kahunas to attempt to put magic on someone, to think about that, right? So if this is something that's on your mind or something you've been engaging in, 9 times out of 10 you come from a line of witches. Now, witches are not always bad. We have black witches and then we have white witches. Side note, this is not like a fake screen. This is an actual black wall. A black wall painted behind me. The whole room was actually black, but when we started renovating, we started painting the rest of the room, and I thought it would be cool to kind of keep this wall black. I had no idea it was going to be for what I'm doing right now, but even though this is a pretty cool setup, it was initially just to have an accent wall. I wanted to hang the TV on this wall. The landlord is in the basement fixing the heater. So hopefully we get some heat. I've been here for a few months, shy of a year. It's always been cold in here. I mean, even in the summer months, I never really had to turn the air conditioner on because it's no insulation in the house. So no insulation plus no heat. It's 20 degrees in here. It's cold. So yeah. But moving along. So yeah, I think it's important. A lot of people don't believe in the magic, and that's okay. But some people are often put under spells and having no idea that they are being worked on. I mean, you have kitchen magic. Some people even hear about people putting blood, in the food, or urine in the food, or sometimes feces. A lot of different tactics that people use to bind you spiritually. Now, of course, you have to have insight. And why this is important, because someone who's practicing this stuff obviously has a good enough information and insight into the spiritual world to even be able to practice this or do this. So we're gonna go into the different ways you can protect yourself, the different signs and symbols of you being spiritually attacked. Me, myself personally, I've been a victim of curses and whatnot, but I'm a different type of protected. So, I know some things just don't work on me, right? Because of the hedge of protection, the covenant. I'll give you guys a little insight on my spiritual journey. I spoke tongues in church at the age of 9 years old. And my life has been not normal. I mean, not that of a normal kid at all. Spiritually, I mean, not even in the physical either. And that's because of this spiritual journey that I've been walking. Spiritual warfare like you wouldn't believe, okay? I mean, we'll get into that later, but I just want to put that out there because I'm not just talking for the hell of it. This is my actual experience, things that I've actually gone through, things that I actually know to be true. And sometimes you have the people right next to you that you love and adore and will die for, who will work on you until you are evaporated and gone, right? So it's very important to be aware of what's going on in the unseen, because you can be attacked and have no idea that you are being attacked. I think it's really important to have a good idea of who you are spiritually. This is why I urge you guys two things. To first, build a real serious relationship with God. I mean, he's the best friend you can ever have, first of all. I mean, and when you get really close to him and good with him, he gives you messages and he sends people and he gives you dreams and visions and he sends you signs and he will tell you what it is, what's going on in the unseen. I mean, I've been seeing my angels for a while. I mean, since a kid, since a little girl, not in the physical form. Like, they don't come down through some stranger and they're like, hey, God told me to tell you hi. No, they're like actual light beings. I can feel them. I can see them. Sometimes they're not always of the light and I have to send them back off to where they came from. People can actually send you demons, send you dark entities, send you dark energies. So this is not a joke, guys. Like, this is some real serious stuff, and it can alter your life. It can affect your families. Like me, because I am so protected and I don't take it for granted. It's not a joke. This is some real life stuff. It can affect the people around me, right? This is why it's important to stay away from people who may be under attack. It's important to keep yourself away from people so you won't have your warfare rubbing off on them. I thought it was important to tell you guys that I've been speaking tongues in church since I was 9, because I'm an intercessor, and for a long time it took me a long time to figure out, why do I have this connection with God? You know, why am I protected spiritually? You know, why is it that people are doing voodoo on me and it's essentially not effective, right? And I'll tell you, I forgot about him. I didn't forget about him. I always loved him, but consciously, like, God's there, he's here, come talk to him, come see him. I mean, that was not consciously on my mind until I got into this relationship and realized that he and I both were under attack. Him more because his relationship with God was a lot more distant than what mine was with God. So him being affected by the magic was definitely at a greater deal and a higher rate, because of his belief system and his ability to connect with God and his angels. He is, however, still protected, but just his idea of having that companionship with God was so thrown off that, you know, he couldn't necessarily connect with God. Me, on the other hand, like I told you guys, I intercede. I'm an intercessor. So what that means is that God will give me a vision of a person. He'll give me a name. He'll give me the face, like a vision of the person's face, or tell me their name, or give me something important that I can identify them by, that only he, you know, would know, if the warfare is that bad. And I would pray on their behalf. Most of the time it's people that I know. Most of the time it's not like a stranger. I only had to pray for a stranger a few times so far. I'm looking forward to you know, having to pray for a lot more people. When I was a kid, I used to pray for people, and I never really understood why I felt the need to pray for strangers. But now that I've been enlightened what my spiritual duty is, I totally understand, you know, why I felt the need. I mean, as a 9-10-year-old little girl, to be praying for people that I don't even know. And, you know, my warfare has been, it's been really, the devil has been really clever when it came to attacking me. I mean, even me breaking my virginity at a young age. I talked to God, and, you know, I would ask him, you know, like, if, you know, you had me having sex at such a young age, why didn't you give me a baby? And he's like, you know, it was a part of the plan. I had to block your womb because, You would not have been able to do what it is I needed you to do had you had a child. A lot of my gifts actually would have been transferred down to my kid, and I would have not been able to complete the task of what I was put here for. So it's very important to just tap in and understand what it is that God is trying to give you and say to you and convey to you, because some of us are so tapped out that we have no idea what God is trying to tell us, right? Or convey to us. I mean, unless you're constantly getting the same signs over and over and over again, you won't know. So I just want you guys to do a little research on voodoo, hoodoo, black magic, witchcraft. These are all forms of dark arts, by the way. So many different things out there. We have kitchen magic. I mean, listen. Some people are so powerful that their tongue, they have this saying, you know, the tongue is mightier than the sword. The people who have that power, like that authority in the spiritual world, they could say things and it like breathes life and it just comes to life. So it's very important to protect yourselves spiritually. This is why having a relationship with God is so important. People who believe can still have work done on them. It can still be effective. When you have a covenant and a certain type of protection, it doesn't affect you. I'm not saying the warfare didn't totally show itself to me, because it has. However, the attempt that was made to destroy me was not effective because of the relationship that I have with God, because of what it is that God sent me here to do. And yes, most of the time, if you have a mate, they are definitely a part of that plan that God has. Most of the time, the devil's gonna attack the people you love. He's gonna come through the people you love, and it's your job as the being of light or the higher being to use love to navigate through all of that, because it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna be challenged. You're gonna feel like you want to hate people that you should be definitely loving and healing, and that is all the devil. That's the work of the devil. So don't allow the devil to distract you and knock you off your path, off your course, because it's gonna be times where you're like, everybody, right? Like, but it's important that you not do that, because you have a job to do. And I personally believe that when you don't complete the job, you have to come back here until you like finish it. I have this theory where I'm like thinking it's sort of kind of like a video game, right? And you have to have a certain amount of points to go on to the next level. And absolutely positively, if you do not complete your task here, you will not prevail to the next stage. So I just want to kind of to bring this up to the surface. We are going to do a few segments of magic, the different types, the different forms, and yeah, we're going to get a little deep into this. We're at 18 minutes now. I'm going to let you guys go. If you made it to the end of the video, God bless you. God bless you regardless, but obviously you're not going to hear this if you didn't stay. So, God bless. Peace. Happy Sunday. Like I said, I did a video on the laptop. I was trying to, you know, go live, but I don't have the correct format right now. I have to be on YouTube for a while to be able to go live. That's for one. And secondly, you can't hear me, so I had to do this over. The devil's busy. He doesn't want me to talk to whoever is supposed to hear this. So God bless you all. If you were sent by the devil to watch me, hi. God bless you too. And happy Sunday. Have a good week. Have a happy week. Go find you some money. Go find you some peace. Go find you some love. And go give out all of those things. Okay? Peace.